Hey there, you can tell by the clouds that it's a different day. It's about a week after my first walk around video of this bus, and I'm back here just to show you a couple things that I neglected to show the first time, and then to give you a little more of a lighthearted perspective on this, oddly and very impressively from the owners of this bus. What I forgot to show you the other day, or last week when I was out here, was just how nicely they did not paint. I think that's trendy, right? You leave the raw wood. Anyway, so when you look into this beautiful conversion, I'm being sarcastic now, you just see that everything on the outside, or that's visible from the outside, isn't painted. This might be a little easier to see. Now we're on the driver's side of the bus. So I don't know if you can see with the glare, sorry about that, but the whole back side of this is just raw wood. So my first video was pretty somber, and that's partially because, of course, both the customers and I were disgusted. They've had some time to breathe. One of the owners is a professional video editor, and he shot some video during their trip from Texas on their attempt to get back home to California. And he sent me a video that I'm going to attach right after this little introduction. And I am so impressed with these folks. They've become good friends, and their ability to look at the bright side and retain a sense of humor is so important. There's a good lesson there. So here is the video from Oz and Vaughn. This is their perspective. I apologize for the little segment he did with me. I had nothing to do with that. I think it's funny, made my head spin. Anyway, here you go. Enjoy.
Hey y'all, Oz here. I'm with the blue Avian, and she's been having a lot of issues, but the most pressing one right now is that she's leaking coolant, and she's been putting water in her, and I can see it just coming out the bottom, so I'm going to deal with that here pretty soon, but the water is too hot, so I'm waiting on that. But in the meantime, I'm going to get our air filter on, and she doesn't have an air filter right now. That's a long story, but I do have an air filter. However, I know nothing about auto mechanics. My man Ross at Rolling Living has been an angel. He's been giving us guidance, and he's been worried about us. And we met him online, and he's like, I gotta know if you're okay. But with all of the other pressing concerns, it's time to go full MacGyver on this. So with his instruction remotely, I am going to do a remote MacGyvering of this air filter attachment, and who knows, maybe this will be of value to some of you in a pinch. So here we go. Okay, so here's what I got to work with. This is my new air filter. This is a brand new air filter. I've got some duct tape. These are my tools, and what was happening was I was trying to get to a salvage yard to get the thing that connects this onto the tube that's inside. However, there's been more pressing concerns, and so in a pinch, we're going to get this into a shape that it can work, hopefully to just get our ride to California completed. Here's the part that is actually going to go toward the engine, where the air is being sucked in without a filter at the moment. This is the other side, and I'm going to presume that this hole goes to something mechanical and serves a purpose when all of this can be done under appropriate circumstances that I don't fully understand, because I don't really know what I'm doing. But for now, what we're doing is we've got this hole taped up, because that would be the one place that something could still go in there. And this way, there's no way for anything to get into the engine without going through all of this. So that's the next step. Okay, and here is the result. As you can see, the filter at her length didn't reach the far bracket here, so I guess I'll tape that to that one at least so it's not rattling free there. But I just basically kind of connected her there, and she's kind of just suspended there, and then over here is where I taped that latch up because it would close, but I wasn't confident it would hold, so I taped the latches so they would stay shut. And then over here it's just kind of like that, just taped her all up, taped it. I went this way a bunch of times from the top to the pipe, and then I did some wraps around the pipe and wraps around here to hold that. All right, y'all, Oz here, doing my second emergency roadside fix on a bus. Not knowing what I'm doing, but I'm going for it. Trying to get to California with this girl. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. I guess I can't flip this around while I'm recording, but anyway, hopefully you can see right there is where I think the coolant is leaking out. So I'm going to attempt a tape job on this. It's certainly not going to be a professional level deal here, but we're getting stopped every, I don't know, it's just like stopped constantly, constant things, constant adjustments. So it's time now to try and do what we got to do, and all I'm trying to do is hold water coolant in long enough to get from one stop to the next without her overheating. She was overheating today, so we're gonna go for this and we'll see what happens. So now we're 300 miles from where I did these fixes. So here you can see where I used electrical tape when I was at the rest stop in an urgent situation, and that held up fine until we were able to get to a big box store and get some flex tape, which he recommended getting. So you can see where I've flex taped the bottom and the top, and it's holding well, and it's been working. So 300 miles in, this one is still going strong. And so the other fix that I was doing, where I was underneath the bus trying to fix the radiator hose, I had to free the ruptured hose, cut a couple of inches off where the rupture was, replace the hose back on, and then clamp it. And the problem was, I was able to get the clamp loosened, get the hose off, cut the hose. I put the pinch clamp on the hose, but then I couldn't get the pinch clamp back up onto the tube with the tools that I had. So at that point, I talked to him about it, and I asked him if I could harvest a hose clamp from somewhere else, and he showed me this one in this spot where the hose was not under great pressure, and also the tube was fitted pretty snug on there, and there was another hose clamp on there for some reason, I don't know, but it all came together. I was able to harvest that hose clamp, put it onto the fix, and you can see it's still holding 300 miles. It's doing really good. And then over here you can see that once we got to a store and I could get some more hose clamps, I replaced the one that was borrowed earlier. So there you got it, update after 300 miles, and I'm going to update again when this trip is completed, which is another 500 miles to Van Nuys, California, but I will talk to you then. Okay, I'm shooting this update from Benson, Arizona. The roadside rescue repairs that I did with Ross, the bus whisperer, lasted hundreds of miles. However, the hose that I fixed then failed again in another spot, and I attempted another repair job on it, but it was just she had to be towed, and so at this point we made it in the overall trip. We made it 900 of 1,400 miles. So we did pretty good, and we did good on the fixes. But after the hose compromised a second time in a different spot, it was clear that this may just continue to happen. And interesting conclusion to this story is that Ross is now driving down here to Benson, Arizona. He's going to loan us a truck that he's got. We're going to continue our ride back to LA, and he's going to take Blue Avian with him back to his place near Flagstaff and give her that love that she needs, and really look her over and treat her well. And so by the time he's done with that, she really will be healthy. The hose that I fixed that then burst in another location is now replaced with a new one. That is something that a mechanic here in Benson did, but yeah, the air filter is still there, still holding up. But I am interested to see what Ross says about these things when he arrives. So I'll shoot a little bit more then. Hey!
Oh, you guys.
I can't, your attitudes, your perspectives are just amazing.
You're amazing.
So, I knew that was missing. I got to tell you, I'm super impressed with how you rigged that up there.
You like my fix job there? It looks almost as if it's a new hose.
Yeah, man, the way you wrapped it with the Flex Seal tape, it looks professional.
Well, we will see you soon.
All right, bye.
Yes.
Bye, Vaughn.
Bye, Ross. Ross the Bus Whisperer has now assumed control. It's pulling out of our motel. Already I can see him driving her much more fearlessly than I. But it's doing beautifully. Woohoo! She's going to get some love. Bye, Ross. Bye, Blue. Goodbye, Blue. We will see you soon. Our love and light. There's PJ videoing also. And here is Ross's truck that he brought to us to drive back to California. And that's what we're about to do. Love and light to you all. We will have more on this story to be continued.